that means he's experienced, so he knows when to gamble. He's up there at the counters. There he goes. Let him know it's there. And once he knows it's there, I can leave the room and stuff, and then we'll see what he does. Here's a little piece of a snack. Yeah, he freely sniffs the counters.
Which you can correct us for
I
that.
can correct us for that, yeah.
We're waiting for something big. Yeah, Riggins could not come in here and just start sniffing counters. He'd get
Oh, no, he's not even allowed to just come in here.
No.
He's not allowed to leave from one room to the next without permission.
He definitely
Put
has.
one on each.
He definitely has a reward history
For sure.
of getting stuff off counters.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. On the break again.
Break.
Nice. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Now we should probably leave them, right? See what it
Good. Break.
Okay.
Let's see what Riggins does with the meat. Now he won't even go near the counter.
He dragged his butt on our floor. His butthole.
Just 2 dogs and some raw meat hanging around the kitchen.
Can't do anything.
No.
Even if we hang out here and I leave this room, there's a large chance he's not going to do anything. What he's going to do is he'd have to be living with me and then he'd have to observe my pattern. You know what I'm saying? And then he would see, we have experience with this with our personal dogs as well as board and trained dogs. Once they catch on to your pattern, if they see an opportunity, they'll take it. And then if it's rewarding, then they're going to remember that one. And they're going to see your patterns, right? So they'll know when to take the risk, when to gamble, and when not to gamble. So essentially, that's what he's doing. He's gambling. He's going to say, okay, it seems like when this person goes here and then this person goes upstairs, at this time, there's 20 minutes. And it just so happens to be that there's actual food laying around. And so that's what he does. I'm imagining. I highly doubt that he will do it right in front of somebody. I have to doubt that. If he does it right in front of you, then honestly, it's an easier fix.
Yeah. And what if I'm cooking and I drop something?
Yeah.
For the dog to have, or it could be dangerous.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is Ted knows. See, you can see Ted. See what he's doing?
Yeah.
He's ignoring it. He's showing us that he's not thinking about it. So he understands that we don't want him to, which is something that he came here understanding. I believe that he understands that the people don't want him to. And I think like if his father figure if he's in the room, the male owner's in the room, I highly doubt that, because I've seen their relationship together. You know, when they're together, he seems to respect them. So I highly doubt he'll do it there. I think what he's doing is he's being opportunistic and he's gambling because he sees the pattern, because maybe we have a similar pattern, because we often do, because we have work, and you know, if you have kids and work, it puts you on a schedule. The dog can see the whole. So the easy thing is like, check your relationship, see how he acts with you in the room, right? If there's a high value meat or treat, and you kind of do these setups like we're doing, and you kind of like leave the room but come back, and if he does it in those scenarios, then it's like, okay, we can tighten this up, you know, we can actually work on it. Now, if we can't get him to do it in that situation, then we know that all that's happening is he's reading when it's a good time, and what that is, that's a man. Just kennel the dog during that time. That's what I would do. I would analyze what part of the day is the dog doing this, when is he likely to do it. Once we went through the fact that he won't do it while we're around, because he likely won't. If he makes a mistake, it'll likely be once, right?
Like he just did.
Right, and then he'll never, you know, do it. And what will happen is we won't see him do anything. If he were to live with me, I won't see him mess with us at all until it could be months later when he's like, okay, I've observed the pattern. I definitely know that they're gone for 20 minutes here or 10 minutes here, and there's food here, and nobody's gonna notice, right? So it's gambling. So the answer for that is management, right? The answer for that is management. Unless you're going to be on everything and you want to be training that to the point where every time you leave like that, it is a setup, and you're on him and he doesn't know it. Yeah, sure, you can make work. But the easiest thing is like, oh, okay, so we're all going to be gone here and there's stuff around. Teddy, get in your kennel real quick. We'll be back in however long we'll let you out. It's just that quick little adjustment of using our management so that we can avoid the situation. Now, if he's doing it, you know, if he's doing it with people around and he's walking from room to room and he's owning the house, you want to make sure you're working on that. You want to go home and put some work on, meaning when he's hanging out, when he's out of his kennel and he's hanging out, we're watching him. You know, if we need a break from watching him, he's in the kennel. Yep. That's a great way to adjust him back home, is just to say, okay, Ted, kennel's home base right now, and we're gonna open your world back up by letting you out, observing you in these, you know, when we can live our life and watch you, we will do that. But when we can't, we're going to put you in the kennel. And that's going to keep him safe and keep the stress down, because you have that management. And also when he's hanging out with you, you're adjusting the little things to make sure that he's how you want him to be, because he's a great dog.
Now watch what happens when I offer it to him.
Right, oh yeah, he wants it. Yeah, it's not lack of wanting it. This is good stuff.
So offering it, you can have it, falls on the floor, off limits, on the counters, off limits.
And this is something that you can teach, we often teach to our personal dogs, is this, and they can understand context. Like if something just, you know, falls out of the air, a resource, it's not for you. And the reason why it's held together, the reason why it's working, we could add the rest of our pack up here too, is because of the hierarchy, right? So the way that works, the reason why that's beautiful is this. If he sees me as above in the hierarchy, that essentially means that I get first access to resources when we're both in the same vicinity. So if he sees something that he wants, if he sees me that way, he's gonna assume that I want it, so he's gonna not touch it, right? So, but he'll also learn, if I'm a good leader, I'll teach him, I will feed you though. Mm-hmm. But you have to go through me to get the things you want. And that's a position thing, okay? And if we keep our dogs below us in the hierarchy, which I don't think this family has trouble doing.
No.
You know, I think that I've seen the relationship with at least the male owner and him, and I see respect. I see it there. You know, it's like, I doubt they're going to struggle to do this. They could do this. Keep the meat there. But what about when we're not there? I think management's going to be the easiest way. Just look at your pattern and look when is Ted doing this, right? But the easiest way going home is to have the kennel be his home base and take him out with the intention to modify his behavior, even if it's just loose setups like this where we're hanging out and there's a setup like there's a piece of food that he's not allowed to touch or something, or whatever area he's struggling on, and then put him back in his kennel until he's kind of adjusted to the point where he's more reliable. Then he can be out more in a more loose manner, but don't leave him alone in those periods of time where you're alone, where he's alone, and there's resources on the counter. I wouldn't even do that with Riggins, because if he starts breaking my trust and is rewarded, then we have a problem. Then we have a slippery slope.
That's all of it, I think.
Yeah, but we, you know, Teddy, I really think Teddy's a solid guy.
Yeah.
A really good dog, and we just need to use a little bit more management, I think, for him, and possibly some setups to make sure that the respect's there and make sure that the relationship's where it needs to be.
Good boy.
Good job, bud.
Break. Good boy.